We've been getting people dipping in our our messages.
Our DMs, our voice.
Like we're swiping left.
Yeah, I got a voice
swiping right, left.
memo on the email address. It's super fun. This lady, which surprises me because I just sent you the demographics. Surprisingly, our listener demographic is a little younger than we thought it would be. I think initially, right? When we started the pod, it's like 25 to 35 was like the average age of our...
What's it now?
No, that's what it is now. But I just, for some reason, like, I don't know. I just feel like that's younger than I thought that it would have been.
People do lie about their age all the time, but
That's
I don't
true.
think they do on the internet.
Yeah.
Who's going to know?
Right. But this lady who left us a voice memo is recently retired, which is why that came up in my brain. But motherfucker, hang on.
She's like really hanging me on there. Chelsea.
Yeah.
Hi, Nate and Chelsea. This is Vicky. I'm recently retired and also is my husband. And we're together 24/7, which is a problem on its own. But I need some advice on how to spice up our sex life. Yikes. Thanks. Bye.
I have been waiting for somebody to ask me this.
Vicky?
I have been waiting for somebody to ask me this.
Yes. Take it. Take it.
I haven't told many people this, and it's probably well known, but the people that I have told, they're like, wait, what? And then they come back and they're like, yeah.
Makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, it worked. That's what they say.
Oh, okay.
And it's surprising that people don't try things out on them. I think a lot of people are afraid to be sexual with themselves.
With themselves, right.
You need to be alone and like get freaky with yourself. When's the last time you shut your eyes and used your hands and tried to pretend they weren't your hands? Becky.
Come on.
No, I'm asking Becky.
Oh.
Probably a really long time.
Right.
Do the other thing too is I feel like we all change, so our wants and needs change. So like the way you used to, that's why you're having this problem.
That is the truth right there. And sorry, I don't want to interrupt because you're on a roll.
No, I think that how old is a retirement age?
Probably 60, 65. Typically.
Well, Drew and I do this thing sometimes where we'll go out on a date and act like we're on a first date.
Oh, I love that.
And then that I have, if the babysitter's there when we get back, we try to I try to play it off without the person knowing that like my husband, he's not my husband.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me just go in and talk to the babysitter and then blah, blah, blah.
Fun.
And then I like check on my son and it's like, oh, he's asleep. And then, my husband, whatever, isn't home. Let's do this. But that's not my advice. My advice is about the actual sex part. There is this move that I used to have, and I haven't shared it, like I said, a lot, but when I do, the women are just like, what? And I'm like, how do you not know this? I would tell men and they would be like, oh, that was great. Thanks for that advice. It worked. But the women, when they didn't know, I'm like, this is your body. So the clitoris, right? If you want to have multiple orgasms or make it last longer, it's really hard to make the female orgasm last long unless you're using a vibrator. Because sometimes once you start coming with the vibrator, it's like too intense because it's like the head of your dick, I'm sure. Like you couldn't keep going. It
almost gets painful.
So sensitive. Right. Okay. Listen, I found a loophole around the pain to keep coming, to have like a minute long orgasm, a minute long. As soon as you feel like it's about to be painful, you just press on it like a button. Just hold it still and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Until you figure out what part feels good, then start making your partner do it. So like what you could do is like you could like climax, have the husband go inside you and fucking press on that thing while because if he just made you come, he's ready to go anyway.
Right.
Press on your clit after where it's about to be too much, and watch what happens. It's like a minute-long orgasm. Just like a
button. I love
like
it.
2 fingers pressed down, and watch what happens.
I think,
Like the amount of pressure that I would put on. I mean, it's a good amount of pressure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I would press down on. What's the equivalent to like check if a pizza dough's ready?
Like if you're
Just
checking your pulse on your wrist.
Yes, that's the pressure. That's it.
Okay. Check your pulse on your clit, Becky.
But having this fun thing you could try. And this is the advice stretches out of this. If you don't want to try this long orgasm clit thing because you're in your 50s and you're like, I don't even come anymore, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But the whole point is to try something new where you both get it's like almost you need to get like reacquainted, reacquainted, because this happens in marriage now. This happens in relationships within a year. Try something new where you both have to be like knee deep and face like 2 inches from your genitals or from their genitals, and like trying something out. Like you can't be shy about it. I feel like after a couple of years, you start to get shy around each other's genitals again. It's weird. Even though you've been together longer.
Yeah.
It's somehow like you just keep doing the same sex positions where anything else would be kind of like taboo. And then it's like you're nervous or you're like, oh no, don't look at my butthole.
Yeah.
Look in his butthole. Count his butthole hairs.
Right.
Wax it see if you like hot wax. Go on Amazon and find that
Get you a little
section.
wax.
There's a section on Amazon
called
there? Like adult. Yes.
I didn't know.
Called adult. If you go to like health and wellness section, you can find the adult section.
Gotcha.
And there's everything you could possibly, and it just comes in an Amazon box, but inside is a huge fucking dildo, some like strawberry jam,
Lube.
dental dam,
Yes.
lube. Astroglide, no flavor, just clear.
Yeah.
Shove that up there. Get a good little vibrator.
The best lube though is silicone, not water-based. In my experience,
I have to do it because I'm pregnant and the pH. Look, anything else will like fuck up your pH. So I can't be fucking with.
So you have to use water-based
for the pH of a vagina.
Got it.
Yeah, it'll fuck you all up.
Yeah,
it needs to be like sense. Water. Yeah. Mm-mm.
You know, for us butthole surfers, you gotta use the silicone.
Yeah, I couldn't use silicone.
It doesn't get sticky. You can go for hours with it.
Who can stay hard for hours?
Nobody. But you use other things. And,
right. Yeah, I would definitely try experimenting with different sexual things. I really like the first date thing.
Yeah.
Or in the morning after you do that, continue it. And I love to do this where I start picking up my clothes from the night before and be like, sorry, I was just leaving. Like, I have to go to work. I don't even work. But I like pretend that like I'm like, where's your bathroom?
Yes.
Or like, something silly, because shit gets stale, dude.
Right. Those are good points. Like, almost this, well, you said it, like taboo mindset, but also knowing what like you like yourself, because your likes and your needs and what gets you off changes as we age.
Oh, it totally changes.
You got to remain in tune with your own body so that you can like direct other people on what's going to do it for you.
When I was dating women, I watched straight porn. And when I was dating men, I would watch lesbian porn. So if that's not somebody who likes both sex, I don't know who is.
Right.
Most straight women watch lesbian porn.
Truth.
Whether they want to admit that or not.
Well, because it makes sense, right? do you want to, well,
or at least
especially
girl
the
on
way,
girl with a boy in the background,
yeah,
man in the
because
background.
it's like sensual and it's like exploratory,
Non-invasive.
and not someone just like being nasty and fucking pounding someone, you know, whatever. It's
There's
more
something to me
of
about
that romantic side of things.
Thank you. Being demisexual, it is hard for me to watch porn. But if I do, I have to like close my eyes a lot and like barely look at it. And then with being married, I don't watch it at all.
Yeah. I mean, it goes
because it just doesn't. It's not my husband.
right.
I don't know how to else
It goes
explain
against
this to people.
your sexuality.
Right.
I mean,
and then there's like a huge part of being demisexual too, where because I've like been with both sexes, when I'm single or even when I'm even married, like I had a hard time. I mean, I can talk about this a little bit, but it affects my husband, so I don't want to get into it too much. But when I was engaged, I remember having a conversation with him like, I'm a little bit nervous about being who I am sexually and being married in general, and like accepting that I'll never be with the opposite sex again, because it kind of like opens up this larger sex pool when you like both sexes that you're missing, quote unquote, missing out on.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I was in my late 20s, and that mattered to me at the time, I was worried about it at the time, because there's just things that a woman, you know, I was just about to say a sentence and I don't agree with it. It's something that I used to say when I was dating strictly women. I was going to say there's something that women can do that men can't, but that's not true. Because my husband does
everything you need.
Right. That's
Yeah.
why one of the reasons why I married him was, this all comes back to advice that you cannot take from me unless you're demisexual. The best sex I'll ever have is when I'm madly in love with you. And I've never been in love with anybody else the way I've been in love, but not the way that I love my husband. So having sex with him is like having sex for the first time, every single time. When we tried to conceive Tommy, I cried every single time. We tried to have, how much sex you have when you're trying to get pregnant. I have goosebumps because that's a true story.
Yeah.
I cried every single time.
Precious.
Because I couldn't believe that I was in this moment with this person. That's why I think Tommy's so smart, because he was brought into the world with like that much. I mean, I'm a mom, and I'm not saying that your kid's not smart because you don't love your husband. I'm just being a mom is when you're biased, and my kid's smart.
Right.
But every kid's smart according to their mom.
And
everybody loves their husband.
Right.
So I mean, it's like, and everybody loves their wife, everybody loves their spouse, everybody loves their dolphin, whoever you identify.
Their dog. Let me ask you, I don't think I've ever asked you this before when it comes to demisexuality. Is that a word? Demisexuality? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is there a level to it where there is a need to like always be in a relationship? Because I know it's that connection and that deep love for someone that may start out as a friendship and turn into, you know, it's about that level of love. But is there a side to it where you feel like there's a need to always be in that level of love? For you, was there?
I can answer it this way because I got married at 29 and I fell in love with Andrew at 26. That will be hard for me to answer. I don't have much experience. But you know, that's not many years of experience of being single.
Yeah.
But and I really, like I told you on one of the fucking first episodes, I've never technically really been single for longer than like 8 months at a time, maybe less. I've been in a bunch of relationships, and in between the relationships wasn't much time. Some of them overlapped. But I will answer it this way. I am pretty sure that I think this will answer your question in a way that you might not expect me to answer it. So, because I will not I can definitely have sex with anybody. That's not, and I used to try, but it wasn't fun. I wouldn't get wet, right? Because I'm not in love with them. For a demisexual, you need to be in love to like want to have sex with the person. That's where the sexuality comes in, the sex part. To be intimate, I can totally do it. I just won't enjoy it at all. But to your point, I said it.
Yeah.
To your point, I know that because I am a demisexual person, I will flirt with close friends. And I know this because I've had a lot of times where close friends of mine, people I love, but like they're I would consider them my best friends, have tried to advance the friendship because I was giving them all of those signals. Because the closer I get to people, the more flirtatious the lines will blur.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of asking your question.
Yeah.
You're answering your question. But there is a line because I'll know, I'll be like, and this is my fault. And I take responsibility for it, whether I take it internally and don't admit it out loud to them, or I say, I'm really sorry that I led you on, but like, no, I really like you. And so I find you sexually attractive in that way, but like not to the point where I need to fuck you. You can like imagine like,
it's
so
like
hard to explain.
Confusing,
it's so hard to explain.
Right?
It is. I had this friend. This is the second time we'll talk about her, Tiffany. And I would never cross the line with her, but I really loved her as like it was like a little mini me, really. She was just young enough and like I knew she loved me. I knew she had a crush on me. She tells me to this day.
Oh.
But I would never cross that line with her. But leading her on was something I did all the time because I was attracted to her, but I didn't want to lose the friendship.
Right.
So, and I was with somebody. So yeah, it does get confusing. The amount of men that I've led on in early age. So I had a friend I worked with. I had a friend, Michael, and they're always trying to, I knew what they wanted.
Right.
Thank God they were good guys. Thank God they were good guys because if I had sex with you, you'd never hear from me again. Even if we were best friends. I wouldn't, so I can't, I stopped doing it.
Right.
Because then I let myself down and then I let my guard down to you and you see that I really am not into it. And then I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. But it is hard. It's hard because if you're lonely and horny and your best friend's like, hey, like, I think you're into me. Are you into me? And I'm like, no. Or I say, yeah. And then I end up dating you for a year and a half and it fucking wasted my time.
Like one or the other.
But that happened to me.
It's
wasting my time with this one girl. I was obsessed with her. I was in love with her.
The embarrassment has struck me too in the past and then it's like you either want to like cut it off to your point. It's like it seems like it's either like north or south with you. It's like never. You know what's interesting? We're done here or we're getting married.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting too is that's behavior.
Yeah.
Started as young as second grade.
Damn.
Absolutely in love with my best friend. Hey, Lisa. We're still good friends to this day. Our sons are less than a year apart. We're less than a year apart, but like almost a year apart. And our sons are too. But I was in love with her, but not in a sexual way.
Yeah.
Right. But she was my most trusted human being that I had on the planet. She never mistreated me, as a friend. And I was a fucking nightmare. You know, she was like my rock and I was like a fucking
Tasmanian devil.
A Tasmanian devil. And she was just trying to like pin me down. But, that was like the first time, like before my sisters were really born, like the first time that I loved a best friend. And